best in a time in the airport arrest. The brother gave me the fear, the premise of death. The work with my life without fear.
I live
Master.
Clay Paris, who make on you, I can't ask you if you been you. Say my journey, Tina get I say my jamo. And yes, I know money, and more I get you. And you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the local and grandmaster.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I forget now ya to money. That's the TV, and I don't forget it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the local and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and outside of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to sell. The flesh in the time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Mute here. Yes, sorry. Yeah, so indeed, we know what you do. All of you, those of you who are nurses or having a sleepless night, go to some of the hospitals, sacrifice, and do everything. So, first, please, let's share the show. Our team will be here with us very, very soon. Let's share the show today. It's interesting. What interesting Monday. Let's share the show. I know some of you already, you are aware of the G's already, but let's share the show first. Yeah, let me see. Myself, I'm trying not to share the show. So please, join me. Let's share the show. If possible, the entire team will be here this evening because today's a busy day. It's a busy Monday, and you may be aware that yes. So when they say who moving, right? The kind of thing I can say before, man moving, man dropping, right? So that's the part of life. Man moving, man dropping. Share the show. Yeah, so the country interesting. But very interesting. Just share the show, people. Let me see, man. Let me share. Where is Muna? I think Muna is setting up. Muna will join us very, very soon. I'm sharing the show. Saying you're not going to share. Me, I will share the show. Yeah, please share, like, and comment. Our Mog will be here. The 12 talking Mog will be here with us. And I know some of you, in fact, you can't even wait to see Mog or to hear from Mog again. But let's go. Let's share the show, people. Let's share the show. Yeah. Okay, good. You just comment, like, and yes, I will recognize all of you, those of you who are watching. Trust me, please. Let's just share the show. Give us a share or like and comment. That's the best thing to do. Yeah. Let's share the show, people. So you can say over here. Today is Monday. What a beautiful Monday. What a Monday to remember. Yeah, I'm sharing this show. We'll bring some of the highlights. Is it a funny highlight? Eh? So we'll bring some of the highlights from some of the happening. I am looking for some of the video. Just send some of the video to me. But let's share, people. Good. Monk already. Like what I like about Monk. Monk is already around already. Like comment and share. What did we this? What did we this? Yeah, let's share, people. Let's share. Today is Monday. What a Monday to be alive. What a way to be alive. Look, no one of the people can always say the bird don't pray for what? They don't pray for long feather. How long is they pray for long life. And you see somebody doing be telling you, how long you live long, you will see things, you will hear things, you will know things, you will know what's happening, you will know all of these things. So every time when you go in your closet, to communicate with your father who in heaven, we're not talking about the one on earth here. You tell your father to give you long life. Say, Father who in heaven, please give me long life so that I'll be able to live long and see exactly what's going to happen, But when you pray for food, some of you go pray, you pray for food. Look, yeah, but some people as well. Look, when you go pray to God, there are some things that God already are aware of that you know about already. So when you start telling them, but they want to see us. They want to see us. Just like that. That's how life will be like. That's how things will be like. That's how we look. But Monk, let me see. I'm seeing Muna right here. My sister Muna from Zwedru, Grand Jida County, who always, Muna girl, she's on correct. That alone tells you that the Monday will be a beautiful Monday. Because Muna have a Muna, they kind of shares whereby we used to get some name, we used to call these shares they kind of more name. But again, thank God that you have the shares on, and maybe that you will call her name. But my
name is that. What name is that?
They can say, I don't know, the Congo Oman shares.
I hear from Roseville, right? I hear from Roseville.
Of course, no one because you have the how you call it, you have that in you, so we can see it. That's great. But I know we're doing what's up, Muna? Everything.
I'm okay, my dear brother. Everything is going smoothly. Yeah, Quench is relatively calm. Yeah, there's wonderful Monday, the first working day in the week. A very hectic day. But it's good to be back here today after a wonderful weekend. Yep.
Yeah. Tell us more. How was your weekend? How was it like? Were you so
yes. My weekend was fantastic. Yeah, my weekend was fantastic. Give God glory and thank. Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the social needs from your end there? Well, you're not able to do any social thing because no news can come from your side. So you're just see what with them going to be business. Now all you know on that.
That's happening right now. They will forget to be better by let's see party now. No, they will come for weekend though. They won't.
Yeah,
weekend again leave all those forests. They come to towns where you. Yeah, what we call it weekend. It can be easy.
I thought one life I thought Bogin and B, but I want to be on.
Come on, weekend. When the Bogin and B they run off from the toy, you can notice. You don't understand it. Hopefully. Oh, I know that.
Muna just me. Oh, sorry,
you why boy booking cheap. Look at that getting No, you know what? I can enjoy it, right? Sometimes I go out. And my girlfriend out and we'll sit on me drinking and drinking towels at times. Sit and
you can go out alone or because sometimes you can say you can carry sand on the beach. So you carry sand
with my girlfriend, right? Together. Yeah, with my girlfriend. Yeah, Jaguars something like that. Go to the shin towel. Yeah. Just be in the process and thing. When I just go home and rest myself for Monday.
People, so yeah, Muna is saying that when they're walking and being on the table, he said that from where you can know from. So Muna, you
Can notice. Like getting face it with yeah. Again, chill.
Muna is now saying something that is so interesting that
Okay, chill.
those Burkina bees, when they on the table, are there where you can know that indeed some kind of people in your midst. But my brother, go evening.
No, it's
Yeah, the Burkina be running the show because gold is at an all-time high. The price for an ounce of gold is $3,400. So when they are the one money go in the country, then you know anywhere they are, their money talking. They run stuff in the country right now. So
you know, right now, Coco, and that's Martin. Coco.
But more in the kind of a situation, then that means people will not go soon because if the people are not running the show for
but the person enjoying.
you don't think
The
about
person
the people yet?
the person enjoying.
So we don't know the importance of gold. The people teaching you what gold means. You know that gold can give you the right to print more paper currency. And whenever the global economy is not doing better, whenever there are uncertainty, people take their money from physical cash and put it in gold. So those Burkina be, I won't be surprised if they be able to select the next president because money can also help to determine election outcome. So I think they will be having more money to take over the entire country. That's just why it is.
Whenever you see some little motorbike thing, our brothers are smart thing. Why are you doing that so? See some motorbike thing. Why are you talking that so?
Wonderful, Muna. Anyway, so let's transition. What's up there from Zwedu? Granjida, what's some of the detailed news?
Yes, today the meeting of court opened today. The formal opening of the meeting of court was done today. When you were attended, citizens, Galo Council of the Council Zion, Council Galo are present. His Juan George Edward Jr., who happens to be the resident circuit judge, is serving Judicial Circuit Court Grand Jiga County. Today was the May 10th opening meeting of court today. Well attended. Yeah, so tomorrow they're going to start all the cases on docket. Yeah, they're going to start on it tomorrow. Other than that, the cleaning of campaigns ongoing by the ZCC in making sure that all those makeshifts along the road, those bathrooms who run in good condition to see how best they can be reconditioned, and also begin to clean their surroundings. Sometimes those who buy land, they're ready for it yet. They can see how best to find people to be there or to take out the place. Because if you don't do that, definitely be fined 5,000 of face court action. But other than that, everything is relatively calm in Grand Jive, Zwedu City.
Wonderful. I know maybe we'll ask you too also as to what are the people reactions, but indeed quickly, so let me come with for speed. Then we go over to Monk as to what else. By the way, let me just go straight to Monk and ask him about the international news because Monk, there are so many things happening, especially between the Pakistan and the other Indian stuff. I don't know, is there whether it's still continuing or because I understand that there have been peace talk between the two countries and the negotiations stay ongoing. But stay up to that, people are still living in fear. But what say you, Monk, when it comes to that?
Yeah, they are called for ceasefire, but there's not an official ceasefire. They got talks happening behind the scenes. The last time I checked, Secretary Rubio, he was in talks with other international partners and allies to see, because I said on the show that two nuclear power, both of them contain nuclear weapons. And in the case of Pakistan and India, we don't have any safety measure. Like I said, when you talk about maybe NATO, there are some treaties. When you talk about maybe the North and South Korea, we were able to take North Korea nuclear weapon so that if she's attacked by North Korea, then that will be a direct intervention by the U.S. But in the case of India and Pakistan, it has been going on forever, and it's a land dispute, but it seems more like a proxy war now because the Chinese are supporting the Pakistani, the aircraft that they are using, and the European or some American fighter jet are the one that the Indians are using. So some people, some military experts are saying there's a proxy war to test the effectiveness of two global power military weapons. Because if the Chinese aircraft seem more effective, then it means the day America and China go into war, then China will have the upper hand. So they are monitoring the situation to see, because like I said, it's all of a more like a proxy war to see which military hardware is more advanced. So they're testing it for something bigger. And I always tell people, anytime there is a trade war, after a trade war is a military war. So people got to understand that how it's been since the inception of mankind, since human history. Trade, the economy, it determines everything. Whenever the size of your military determines the size of the economy, and whenever there is a trade war, the next thing that follows is a full military war. That's just how it is. So people are anticipating that global powers are testing their strength by using India and Pakistan as a proxy, because that's just what's happening. Which jet or which aircraft is more effective, whether the Chinese were able to catch up with U.S. technology or European technology, or if the U.S. still got dominance or some supremacy when it comes to aerial warfare. So that's what's happening, bro, in India and Pakistan.
To that, I want to ask you this question because often similar thing that happened between that of Ukraine and that of Russia. Because yes, most of the things sometimes it starts small, but at the end of the day, it go big, like you are saying. Because I think, but the war stay observing. But more, do you think that war going to escalate, or maybe the ceasefire, everything will be resolved, and people will think that okay, yeah, all is well, let's go ahead and do our normal business, or maybe go on our normal business?
Well, you don't want it to escalate, especially when nuclear powers are involved. You want it to end as quickly as possible. You want for a cooler head to prevail. But at the end of the day, that's what you are wishing for until the reality can come into being, right? You want it to end. You don't want it. Let me tell you something, Melbourne. The number one income source most of the time when it comes to trade, the three top countries in the world, America, Russia, and China, they sell arms and ammunition all around the world. So at the end of the day, it's all about negotiation. It's all about partnership. It's all about making billions of dollars. Like certain countries like the UAE, like Qatar and the Saudi Arabia, they will always buy American military hardware, right? And certain countries in the world only prefer using Russian military hardware. And some countries in the world now are buying Chinese military hardware. So at the end of the day, America, China, and Russia, they sell nothing more but arms and ammunition, military equipment, anti-ballistic missile, or how they call it, or aircraft carrier. That's where they make the most money from. So anytime there is a war happening anywhere around the world, it means one country is going to benefit financially, because it means you're going to order, or you can put in your order for more military hardware to go against your rival. So that's just why it is. But at the end of the day, like we said, since they are both nuclear power, you don't want it escalating, because the worst could happen. I mean, one crazy country could do something with a push of a button, and the whole war could go head scatter. You don't want that. So I hope Secretary Rubio, the European allies, and other people around the world can put their heads together and make sure they can de-escalate the situation happening in India and Pakistan. But it's been going on forever.
Well, thank you, my dear brother. So, folks, if you're just joining us, this is the SKTV Monday edition. Please, we want you to give us a share. Those of you who just joining us, give us a share, like, and comment. Let us know that, in fact, that you are following us, because we have a lot of you already watching, and thank you so much for that. Please, just give us that comment and give us that share, and also, that's the best way to go. But again, Monk, let me come up with speed as to what happened in the nation, the capital maneuver. Yes, indeed, at long last, the battle speaker, J. Kofa, stepped down today. That resignation information came up last evening from the rule of headed by Honorable Musa Assembly, and hopefully on today, the speaker also admitted to that. Yes, indeed, he resigned, and I think the resignation letter now is on the social media up and down, but he's also speak to the press also. Yes, that he stepped down as a speaker. So again, there are so many questions, there are so many things happening, and there are so many talk in the corridor as to whether he fought a good battle or not, or what's going to happen next, as to whether the lawmakers they're going to go to elections or not. That's another thing that Liberians are now arguing about in the various street corner. I wanted to ask Mona as to what are some of the reactions from Grand Jada before I come back to you, Monk, about the resignation of the embattled speaker, J. Kova. So, Mona, we want you to give us quick reactions from our people? Is there, if there any?
Most callers that called today from the Engineer County, indeed, they said they are happy because the speaker fought a good fight. He won. So by him resigning, he did well. They are happy that he fought a good fight. That next time, if any other person want or me want to move or speaker don't want to do the wrong thing, you will always follow the rule of law. You will follow it. And they happy what he did because he won. He won the Supreme Court, and then he won. He won the battle, and today, he resigned. People are happy what he did. He said, people are happy because that he won the Supreme Court. He won a case as Speaker of the House, as Speaker, legitimate Speaker. He won a case, and today he'll be resigning. They are talking about 12. He resigned today. That they are happy he fought a good fight. Instead of worker, he run. That next time, if they do anything, they will definitely follow the rule of law.
Well, thank you.
They are praising him for that. They are praising him.
Okay, good. Thank you, Muna. So let me play the video. This is his message interaction with the press. So after this, we'll go straight to Muna.
Everybody here for me or for you? For you. What's up? Yeah, we are here. This last night was announced by the chair of the room. How do you respond to the news of the evidence resignation? It's not anything. I've already submitted it. Honorable Speaker, you've been holding on all through this month. Why now you made this decision? Okay, so it's important to bear everything in perspective. We got to play the game by one set of rules. The rules keep changing, right? I think we held on because when the Supreme Court made a decision on December 6th, all the good people came and said it was confusing and ultra-virus, right? So we waited for the Supreme Court to clarify that because it's a mineral and we at the time that once the Supreme Court clarifies it, everybody will go according to the rule of law. The Supreme Court made a clarification. I think even the smallest child that started school could understand what the Supreme Court said, except for not people might speak up, any other thing. Then the rules of the game shifted when the president said we will go back to the original posture, which was to deal with a majority. Okay. Once that changed, we had to assess our own participation in what is in. And as you see it, after the caucus evaluated, with still those going on at the Capitol, with more arms being called in as reinforcement, our choice was to either go tomorrow to the Capitol to have a repeat of some sort of violence, right? Or to avoid that. I think one of the things we try to do is to avoid it. The second thing is, you see Kofa, but you don't see the people standing behind Kofa. How long can I ask my 60 employees who have not been paid for 6 months to stay on? Okay, I have to evaluate that. How can I ask my colleagues who have endured this battle to stay on, especially when significantly we started to lose some of our most committed members after the president's statement. All of that led us to have a strategy session and a strategy meeting to say, what is the utility of holding on? Do I just continue to be a speaker sitting down at home while someone else is exercising the power and the privileges of the office? In my mind, I think that's not a wise use of my time. How factual is this information? But I think we said speculation. I would be, and surprisingly, it came from a rescue blogger So he got to flesh out and bring more information. Let me tell you this. If I wanted to take money for this would have actually add you time to take money, right? Because it's not as valuable as it was before the hearing, before the ruling, right? Before the ruling, if I had withdrawn my case and I wanted to sell it, that was the attribute time. So it doesn't make sense. What they are saying is, and it's anticipated in Liberia, nobody do things out of principle. We sat there for 6 months, no pay, no nothing, nobody bringing any gas or anything. At the end of 6, 7 months, you can say we took money. We could have taken money to spare the public. But there is no issue of money changing except the legitimate benefits, salaries, and benefits of our people.
Was there a proposal from your resignation? Was there any proposal forward to any other executive or anything like that?
So Mark, that's it. You can take over. What's your own reactions to the battle of speaker resignations and so forth, with some of the things that he said during his interactions with the media?
Well, I don't know. The whole fanatical thing is so redundant. Some people say, "Oh, you want to take a side? You sound like you support the other side." Like, bro, I could care less about which side won. The one thing that I know, our people, they play with our people politically. They play on the minds of our people. They think that we are so dumb. And the one thing I keep telling folks, I don't think anyone will consider me to be smart. But the one thing that I know, since I came on this planet, I'm not a fool. And nobody can fool me. So the whole idea that Fanatic Kofa fought a good fight, that's I don't know which word to use or which kind of a descriptive analysis to use, but I'm not going to buy that crap. It makes no sense to me. And I knew what he was in it for at the end of the day. He didn't have to say it on camera. And he made a lot of conflicting. I listened to the whole thing from when I woke up this morning, and there were a lot of conflicting information coming from this same Fanatic Kofa man. Further on, he said the shifting political dynamics behind the scene were one of the reasons for his resignation. And he has submitted the official letter with the clerk. And then he said, the president said he was going to work with the majority black. That's not what the president said. The president said, I'm going to work with the group that will give me a quorum. That's what the president said. And 1 minute he playing victim, another minute he for the rule of law, another minute he playing hero because some of his colleagues or some of his staffers are yet to get paid. And one thing he said that I found very funny, he said, the direct quote, I cannot negotiate the law. If I resign, that is a legal process. No, when you resign, you told us that your resignation is a choice. Don't come and tell me again that your resignation is a legal process. That's not a legal process because you decided to fight from the beginning. We told you at the end of the day, no matter how long this thing extends, you wasn't going to come up on top. You knew it, but you still decided to go on. I don't know. You wasted us our time for almost 7 months. Some people say you rise up above the fray, you're trying to take the moral high ground. No, that's the common man. If someone with a peanut brain will accept that. No logical person will accept that after 7 months for putting the country through all of that. You knew. You're talking about one thing he said again. He said, how long can I hold on when some of my most committed members or followers decided to break away when the president made a statement? But I think about you knew how the thing was going to end anyways. I know you can shift the blame on the president and talk about people not getting paid, but the main idea was not the reason your resignation. You knew there was not a good result for you at the end of the day. So it was not a matter of when. It was not a matter of if you were going to resign. It was just a matter of when you was going to resign. And at the end of the day, and one important statement he made, he said, you don't want to hold a speakership just for the title, and because where is the essence when you cannot do the job of a speaker? I think we've been singing that line on Sktv for the longest. That's the reason from day one we said speakers resign, not because they're not capable of fighting. It's not because they don't understand the Constitution, but they realize there is no point in fighting when you end up losing the support of your colleague. But no, you say you want to go to the Supreme Court. And now, in your own statement, you're talking about legal and political aspect to this one situation. And that's why we saw from the beginning, Mr. Speaker, don't waste your time. But I can tell you for sure, the reason some of your diehard colleagues decided to break away from you because they knew exactly what was happening behind the scene. They knew there was no point, and they wasn't going to sit by idly and just let, or maybe some kind of extra resources to go wasted. That's why they decided to take that route. So, Mr. Kofa, I would say we never expected this. I won't pray for this. And the same thing goes to the next speaker, whether it's Richard Kung or anyone else. The day you end up losing the support of your colleague, don't put the country through this drama and nonsense. Resign, because that is standard operating procedure when it comes to speakership. Your colleague made you speaker. When they withdraw that support from you, you done. Nowhere in the world people run to Supreme Court for redress. Even if you want to make the argument that there were constitutional aspects, I understand that. But we also knew that the fundamental reason behind the whole impasse was a political process. That's why all the foreign ambassadors or people that intervene, they always talk for a political resolution. But you said you are going to get support from the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court came up with a ruling. So don't tell the Liberian people that it was because of Joseph Boakar's statement. No, Joseph Boakar said, I will work with the group that will give me a quorum, because he understands that legitimacy of a speakership comes from a quorum, and that's what the president said, which is also constitutional. So the whole thing that I fought a good fight and I'm taking the moral high ground, I can't keep fighting because people ain't take me for saying, well, my brother, you can go there and say that to the birds, or God like me will not fall for that. At the end of the day, you just put the country through unnecessary stress. We could have done a lot of things in the last 7 or 6 months, but you decided to take this route, only to come to the same position that we told you from the beginning to have taken. Go across the aisle, negotiate, look for 7 members and add into the caucus. The moment you reach 37, we could care less whether Rachel Kung goes to the Burj Khalifa Hotel or Hotel Africa. We could care less. You will have remained a speaker today, but you said no. You wanted to go to the Supreme Court, and here we are now. The people you consider to be your diehard supporter, somebody started crossing from honor you, and you noticed that there was no point to keep fighting. So this whole idea that you are taking the moral high ground, you try to de-escalate because there were military armament. No, when the Constitution back you, you don't tower, you don't crumble under pressure because you believe that the rule of law. We all believe in the rule of law. The only thing we say when it comes to interpreting constitutional matter, it's a very tricky situation. So do the right thing, just resign. If you cannot get a colleague of your members or your colleagues' support, just call it quit. There is no point. Matter of fact, when speakers even resign, they don't even go back to be regular lawmakers. They just move on with their life, because you can't come from being the third man in command to go and be another regular lawmaker. That's just how people do it all over the world. For me, when the things started moving, I was not only looking at it from the Liberian standpoint. I was just looking at it from a global standpoint and the whole issue when it comes to legislative process or impasses. But from people thought that because we were saying things that we were saying, somehow we were indirectly backing Rachel Kung. I know, since I've been knowing myself, I have never seen anywhere in the world where when there was a legislative impasse for the Supreme Court to come and settle score. I knew that I said it, Supreme Court are final arbiter of the law when it comes to constitutional matter. There is nothing in the Constitution that says Supreme Court are final arbiter of the law when it comes to political matter or political impasse. So I knew that if he was just running on a hamster wheel, and at the end of the day, he was seeking leverage, and I think he got the leverage, and at the end of the day, he's taking the bow. So that's it. That's all I can say for now. I don't want to go further into it because I believe this whole discussion about Fanatico Fire is so redundant. We wasted 7 months. The outcome was more than predictable. It was on the billboard for even the blind man to see. But unfortunately, some people just cannot accept the fact that when they are wrong, that's just what happened. So it took us 7 months. We had to set the capital of building ablaze. You got people moving here and there from one caucus to another, money changing here and there. At the end of the day, only to do the same thing that we told you from day one. Mr. Kofa, the reason you are speaker, people make you speaker for certain fundamental reason. You got to be someone who can compromise. You got to be someone who can walk across the aisle. You got to have good negotiation skills, and you must always know who is within your caucus or anyone under your gavel. If there is a split under your gavel and people are disenchanted and they believe that they want something that you're not giving to them, you must compromise. Politics is not about being right. It's all about giving something in exchange for what you want. That's why we compromise in politics, but you couldn't get that done. You couldn't even pew. I think it was one of the caller a few days ago that said he watched the impasse for the longest, and unfortunately, Fanatico couldn't even pew one member of the majority bloc to join him. I don't know how you can continue to be a speaker if you cannot even convince a single person from the majority bloc to join your caucus. So at the end of the day, my brother, I didn't want to see this. I want for us to prioritize like bring people business, but some things you cannot control. And to the next coming or incoming speaker, whether there will be election or no election, if you cannot get your act together, if you cannot settle political school, if you cannot negotiate and cross the aisle, if you guys cannot make some amendment to your rules and standing procedure to make it very, very tough to remove a speaker, you will be left with the same thing. And any speaker coming after Fanatic Kofa, the day you end up losing the support of your colleague, you are done. You carry to the Supreme Court, you will get the same outcome. So it's not only about Fanatic Kofa, it extends to anyone after him. If you cannot get the support of your colleagues, if you cannot get a simple majority backed by the Constitution, that magic number of 37, my brother, keep it moving. That's it. Life goes on. So maybe
thank you. Yeah, yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Mark, for holding on, and thank you for your own input on the entire impasse. But folks, if you just joining us, this is the Monday edition of the Sktv show, and we are opportune also to have with us the CMC Secretary General, Honorable J.S. Bangura. For a matter of fact, yesterday he's supposed to be here with us, but due to some engagements, he was not able to be here with us on yesterday. So today he will be here, and usually he will sometimes chip in also to be our guest panelist also on the show. So let me bring him on this Monday, as a basic Monday, also what we're discussing the resignation of the Battle Speaker J. Kofa now, who is now just lawmaker. But Honorable with J.S. Bangura, let me say good evening to you and welcome to the Sktv show.
Good evening to you. Maybe good evening to Monk. Good evening to Muna. It's a great pleasure to be here. I should have been here, as you said, yesterday, but there were circumstances which gravitated beyond my control, and that impeded my presence. But today is great to be here. I've always followed the Sktv. It's a wonderful show. You're doing a phenomenal job. So it's great to be here. I don't see Sekou on tonight, but I hope that he can join us at some point. But once again, Melbourne, thank you very much for your fantastic leadership of the show.
Great, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that I hope that all will go well tonight, because you are coming in the time where we have the long last in Battle Hospital Jeff from the cover resigning. But again, thank you for joining us, for taking off your time to be with us here this evening, and we hope pray that all go well. But first of all, how is the CMC?
The CMC is doing very well. We're pleased with the progress that we are making in a very short period of time. As you may be aware, the CMC was certificated a fortnight ago. That was on the 7th of March. We mustered the courage to participate in the Nima County by-election. We finished third, and our party's work continues. We have our ground structures being worked on. We have our leadership in place, our programs and everything, what we are doing in high schools, et cetera, et cetera. So our party is doing very well. We're pleased with the progress, but at the same time, we're determined to beat our record every month. So we do our evaluation, we see what we have been able to achieve. For example, in the month of April, and we are even more determined to do better in May than we did in April, and then in June. We're getting ready for the grand launching of our party, and the venue will be decided, but we're determined to bring our partisans together in the hundreds of thousands. At least 100,000 people will gather at that particular point where we will be launching a party. That is not just going to be a launch, it's going to be an opportunity to make a statement, a bold statement to the Liberian people, and to also allow the Liberians to...
This is what I did.
Sorry.
May I continue?
Yes, go ahead.
Exactly. So that grand launch is going to truly usher in a new era, give a new opportunity to people who have been very stagnated between either the CDC or the Unity Party, and who have been very hungry for an alternative, who have been very hungry for change, who have been very hungry for fresh blood, new ideology, new vision, new direction, to take this country from where it is, to where we want to go. And Mayborn, our strategy is different, and the way we carried on is also very different. This is the first party in the history of this country that has already begun giving back to the people way before election. Think about that. We are building the roads. We are building the schools. We are integrating economies. We are building bridges. We are building people. We are the only party that is involved with that right now. All other political parties will say, vote us into power and we will build roads. We will build schools. We will build bridges. That is the normal rhetoric. We've all heard that rhetoric before. The CMC is revolutionizing political engagement in Liberia today. So we come to this thing from, with a different approach. So, as we move forward into the program, I will let you know about a lot of things we're doing. In fact, one of the distinguishing factors of the CMC is that we're working with the diaspora community than any other political party. We are big on women participation than any other political party. We've got the CMC chapter in the USA, CMC chapter in Australia, CMC chapter in the UK, in the European Union, in Asia, and you name it. So we're not only having them for utilitarian purposes, where you can only have them when you can use them. No, we are having them because we need to tap into the skill sets. We need to tap into their contribution they can make. So not just so much of remittances, but also for the leadership, the experience they have been able to get over the years of their stay in foreign countries, that they can bring these good ideas and these good things to help to contribute to moving this nation state forward. We're big on women involvement, and bulk of our leadership positions are being filled by women. The entire diaspora structures only have 3 men there. The same thing in Liberia. We're also very big on women and youth involvement. This program is driven by youth, is driven by women. We're big on showing that we have the opportunity for the youth of this country whose future was taken away by the cruelty of more than 14 years of civil upheaval, that we're trying to repair those cracks in our civil society. We will need to give the young people the opportunity to assert themselves, to prove themselves, and to be able to learn, relearn, to make and remake themselves. The new Liberia must belong to them. So the CMC is that party that is visited on the ideology of empowerment for everybody. When you ask me about how the party is doing, I will tell you that the party is doing well, that the party is gaining traction. On our Facebook page, we have a hotline service we have activated. No other political party has got a hotline service. We have a hotline service because we receive plethora of calls from Liberians here and abroad who ask us oftentimes, how do I join the CMC? They are willing, they're trooping in their numbers, and we get overwhelmed every day with the avalanche of Liberians or requests of people who want change and think that the CMC is the vehicle that can drive that change. So we are doing very fantastic.
Thank you so much, Honorable Secretary General. Thank you so much. We have some of our colleagues here, and they will be asking you questions here on the show this evening. We have Sheikh Sharif from Nimba County also just joining us, and Muna in Zwedru, Granjida County, and Brazilian Monk also in the US. And I'm right here in studio with you here. So indeed, feel free. Don't see all of the men. So just feel free. So quickly to this question, then I'll turn over to Mark to ask his question to you. So yeah, so with the latest news coming from the House of Representatives, you have your political leader who's serving also as chair or head of the Rule of Law Caucus, and finally, the embattled speaker Jeffrey Kofa just resigned. What's the latest news from your corridor?
Well, we have issued a press release. If you go on our Facebook page, I even share that on my page. We issued a press release. We commended the outgoing speaker for his service to the nation, his service or in the leadership role of national legislature in the House of Representatives. And we stated clearly that the way to move forward now, based on the laws of the House of Representatives and their own rule, is to have immediate election to fill the vacancy that had been created by the resignation of the speaker. And we, as a law-abiding political party built on the rule of law, that believes in um, a better Liberia governed by the rule of law, we're looking forward to the leadership of the House to move with all deliberate speed to ensuring that they can establish the new leadership of the House through a democratic process, through universal suffrage, where interested people will go and compete in a democratic way to bring to a finality this debacle, this impasse that had consumed the House for nearly 8 to 9 months. They say every long road has an end. We have neared the end now. The honors now is to found members of the legislature to conduct themselves well. We stated in that same press release that we take our hats off to those lawmakers who belong to the rule of law caucus, who are able to withstand the pressure and to stand for the rule of law, that we need to have laws governing us. We need to respect the Constitution. We need to respect the Supreme Court, because we can never have a functioning civil society without the rule of law. The rule of law is the guardian, if not the guardian angel of our democracy. Without it, everything else will collapse. So it's very important that we had dedicated people who remain faithful and true to their oath of office. That oath, which was administered to them on the 15th of January 2024, in which they pledged to protect, defend, and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So those members, 30 or so of them, who were able to remain faithful and committed to the oath of office, we took our hats off to them. We know that future generations will read the history that has been written over the last 8 months, and they will make their judgment. And it is hoped that that judgment will be very kind to them. We also took the opportunity to call on the government to ensure that the rule of law is followed to the letter. We can recall the dark days of the nation. The democracy continues to get entrenched. It's a nascent democracy. We need to continue to water it, as it were, nurture it, as it were, so that it can continue to grow and gain traction. It's still a young democracy. We have the opportunity to do that. But we can only do that if we allow the democracy to be governed by the rule of law and by the Constitution, and to follow the rulings of the Supreme Court, because that is the court of the final say. That is our constitutional court. So when the court speaks, that is final. That is what we know, and that is what ought to be. So we have called on the government to follow what the Supreme Court has said, because if we don't do that, we cannot compel the layman to obey the courts. So we need everybody obeying the courts, and that's how we're going to build a wholesome, functioning civil society and a democratic society on the thrives on the rule of law. So the CMC has welcomed the resignation, and we have issued a press release to that effect, calling upon the responsible parties to do the needful. To take
Good,
this
thank you,
house
thank you.
into
We
the
have
national
Honorable Secretary, we have about 11 more minutes to go. Just want to make some of the answers very short so that our team will be able to ask questions before.
I'm hearing echo. No, what is that?
Okay, sorry, let me see. Yes, are you getting me?
Okay. No, I'm still hearing the echo.
Okay, all right. I will kind of to sort that out. Yeah. Okay. So, Monk, you want to ask? I guess if you have questions for the Secretary General of the CMC.
Well, I've been listening to the Secretary General, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the platform. I think it's my first time interacting with you, if not the rest of the panelists here. I just want, because I've been listening to you talking about setting new standard. You guys are the first to have the phone line and all this stuff. I just want to thread the needle for our listening audience here, looking at the most recent outcome of the Nima County by-election. How do you make the case for the CNC with such an abysmal result in the election that was held in the backyard of the political leader of the CMC, even in his own electoral district? How do you try that? How do you make the case that we can expect the CNC to be a force to be reckoned with moving forward when the second largest county, I would say the second largest slice on the electoral power, Nima County, and the CMC, I can say they were obliterated. They were blown out of the waters. How do you reconcile those two statements?
But Monk, how would you say? I'm saying here myself. I think I should just let this go. Okay, but Monk, I want to disagree when you say that the CMC was obliterated. I would not hold you accountable for your choice of words, but I would just respectfully disagree with you. You need to know that the CMC, in my view, did a fantastic piece of job. This is a party that was just certificated on the 7th of March. And this party went into an election with other political parties that have been existing. The Unity Party is a whole alliance made up of more than 4, 5, 6 political parties. You had other parties like Votes or other parties that were certificated way back in 2016. So you have a brand new party on the block that just went to the polls, barely what from the 7th from the 7th of March to April 22nd. It was not even a month. I think 4 weeks or so, or a little over 4 weeks. So we went to a process where we finished third. So any political pundit, political commentator, people who understand political number games, political econometrics, would disagree with that statement. We think that the CMC can do better in future elections because we are going to continue to entrench ourselves, work on our strategy better, refine ourselves better, and the fact that we can come third among 7, it means that our chances to come first are very, very high. And if we work very hard, when we have more time, like other parties will have, instead of just having less than a month to election, a few weeks to election, we can even do better. So we achieve a whole lot when we went through the process in the field. Yes, we lost the election, but we achieved a whole lot. We came third. We did not finish last. We came third. We're the newest political party. All the others who ran have participated in several elections before. CMC have never participated in an election in Nima. It was our first election that we ran in. So I thought that we did well, but we are going to do better next time.
So,
All right,
so the argument here now is more about the timing, because there was some political pundit that said the CNC were under no pressure to have participated in the Nima by-election, looking at the time that they were certificated in the day of voting. So the argument here now is, okay, you know what, we were a new party, we took on an alliance. But the last time I checked, even in Chairman's Belleted district, a candidate ended up losing in his own district. My thing here is no, let me come, brother. Let me just end, and you can take the rest of the time. The thing here is, if you want to make the argument about time, like I said, the CNC were under no obligation to have participated in this election. But you are telling our audience that because of the fact that you came third. But no, if you come in third, especially when you are being defeated in the political leader own district, then it becomes a very hard case to make. You cannot tell me to be most or optimistic about the CNC future that they're going to be a force to reckon with when the performances, even in the chairman's district, it was way less than anticipated, or it was worse off than what we expected. So the whole idea, I'm not saying that things cannot change in the future, but everything is based on number. That's electoral process. So if you are going to make that case, we just come into the game, but then we finish there, then to me it sounds like two conflicting statements. Because one minute you want to say you will be competitive, and another minute you're saying, we were never given enough time to have performed, but you can expect us to do better in the future. How do you reconcile the two statements again?
Thank you, Monk. I think you are being self-contradictory here, because You're blaming CMC for losing. In politics, you either win or you lose. I just told you that we came third. There were reasons responsible for that. And nobody can argue that when you were new in politics, it doesn't affect you. You said nobody forced the CMC to participate. Nobody has to force us. We have a responsibility to our people. We have a responsibility to sell our party. We have a responsibility to participate in the election. So when we lose the election, we catalog reasons why we lost the election. So nobody forced us, yes, but we have the responsibility to do that. And CMC will never sit on the sideline. We will contest every election in the country. That's how people get to hear about our party. That's how people get to know about the difference between the CMC and other political parties. That's how people get to get informed about political ideology, about our manifesto. If you don't go to the people, they don't get to know about you. So we'll continue to do that. On the other issue of losing in our backyard, look, how many politicians have never lost election in their own districts? I can recall in 2020 by-election in district number 1, where the current vice president was represented. He lost there twice. If you follow these statistics, you get to realize that is not a factor that you can use to draw a conclusion definitively that this person can never succeed anymore. Today he's the vice president, but he lost election twice in district number 1. So you can't even use that because it doesn't make any political, it doesn't amount to any superb political calculation to explain that the CMC cannot be a force to reckon with. Political pundits have reached out to us, commentators have reached out to us, and people who think seriously about this political game have commended the CMC for the fact that the CMC braved the storm, while other people will be afraid. A lot of people are very afraid of diving deep. They're very afraid because they don't want to lose. No, the CMC was courageous enough. We entered into the election and we achieved. We came third. Okay, and that was a phenomenal job that we did. We can build now on what we have done in the next election to win. This is how people make success. When you try today and you don't make it, you stumble and fall, you continue from there. But you don't stay on the sideline and say until everything is peaceful, is calm, until nobody else is running, then we go win on white ballot. No, that means that you're not prepared for any competition. So politics is just a life. Life as a whole. You gotta continue to try and continue to try until you get there. So even the MDR in Nimba County is not the dominant political party. How many seats the MDR got in Nimba? I think they got 3 seats. Nimba has 7 seats. The MDR got 3 seats, but the MDR candidate in the alliance won the election. MDR lost a lot of elections there. Okay, but the CMC will win elections because we know how to win. This is our first election. We know what went into that. We never have sat on the sidelines and say until everything is bread and butter, it's at ease. There's no wind blowing. We cannot go ahead. No. We did not jump in the race because it was easy. We jumped into this race because it was difficult. We do not choose a path because it's easy. We choose a path because it's hard, because it's difficult. We are a revolutionary party. We do everything differently. So we determine next time we will beat our record. Like I was saying from the beginning, our determination is to beat our record every single day. So you can wait and see in a month. The next record we are going to achieve far more than what we have achieved. So
thank you so much.
I think that's that.
Yes, Honorable Secretary, thank you so much. I think we're all almost 7 o'clock or approaching 7 o'clock, and we said maybe you may like to be with us, or maybe you may like to leave. But at 7 we will be going for the news break. So I just want you to just maybe summarize everything quickly as you take your leave, and maybe you'll be back maybe anytime this week, anytime you have the chance. But if you want to continue with us on the show, well, then you're welcome. After the news bulletin, they will continue.
So you want to say a few words?
Oh, yes. If you want to continue with us after the news bulletin,
I just wanted to say I'm enjoying the show already. I'm enjoying Monk's questions. Very thoughtful.
So you want to review, right? Okay.
Well, but let's see.
Water break. Yes. Okay. So then, thank you. So you go for water break as we go for news bulletin. We'll come back because most of my colleagues here, including the ambassador, also want to ask you some questions and so forth, because we have Ambassador Kipris also here with us. Also is one of our guest panelists, and I guess he will be asking you to. So let's go for water break. Thank you so much, folks. Muna and the rest of you there, let me say thanks to all of you. let's go for break. After the news bulletin, we're going to continue with our guests and also our discussion here on the SKTV show today. Thanks to all of you folks. Yeah, so I know Mona have so many questions that she want to ask, but please, you reserve all your questions. Yeah, Caprice, what's up? Quickly, 1 minute. How you doing before we go? Caprice, are you there? All right, so either you are muted or maybe something happening, but we're not getting you though. I don't know. It's like coming from an end, but we're not getting you.
I'm good. I'm fine. We expected him to be, but I'm glad that he's here today. I strongly believe that he's going to have enough time to talk. Okay.
Maybe you still hearing me? You guys still on? I mean, on the radio or?
It's like doing setup though.
Yeah, I think they're doing setup. That's why.
Yeah.
Because I read to disconnect and come back, but I don't know. Yeah, the secretary is holding the line so far for the CMC. For me, I had a different take. That's the beauty of SKTV. We got different opinion here. We process information differently here. So, but that's okay. I think he's doing great. He's promoting the party, or he's not lost. All right, Mabel, I'm out. I think Nakita Rabos ready.
Good evening, RCR News Bulletin at 7. I'm Nakita Roberts. Fanatic Kofa has finally resigned as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Commercial drivers across the country have begun a nationwide go-slow action affecting the movement of vehicles in Margibi, Nimba, Bon, and other counties. In addressing the devastating impact of sea erosion in southeastern Liberia, the Environmental Protection Agency has announced the launch of the Sino-Coastal Defense Project this Tuesday. Out of Liberia, at least 130 civilians were killed in Burkina Faso. Government forces and allied military in March near the western town of Solizo, Human Rights Watch says in a new report. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. Councillor Fonati Kofa has finally resigned as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. His resignation followed over 7 months of internal crisis in the House. The Grand Crew County District 2 representative told journalists minutes after his resignation that the decision was created that has created a vacancy for a new speaker to be elected as required by the Constitution and House's rules. Kofa emphasized that his resignation was a strategic decision amidst rising political pressure and internal decisions rather than being compelled or influenced by money. He explained that the escalating tensions, including armed security reinforcement, forced him to step down from his post. Representative Kofa this made rumors about accepting money for his resignation, noting that discussions with stakeholders, especially the majority Black, focused on ensuring overdue salaries and benefits for his colleagues are settled. He also called for internal investigators to examine the politically charged arrest of some of his staff members. Kofa plans to release a book titled From 1 to 73, The Conspiracy at the Capitol, reflecting on his political downfall, despite winning the legal battle at the Supreme Court, confirming his legitimacy. Kofa acknowledged that shifting support from President Joseph Boakai led to his decision to resign. In addressing the devastating impact of sea erosion in southeastern Liberia, the Environmental Protection Agency has announced the launch of the Sana Coastal Defense Project this Tuesday. EPA Executive Director Dr. Emmanuel Yapawolo said sea erosion is gradually wiping away Greenville and other coastal cities in the southeast, and the $20 million United States dollar project is aimed at initiating steps in protecting these cities. He told RCR News on Monday that the project is being funded by the Liberian government and the United Nations Development Program. Dr. Yapawolo and his team are on a nationwide compliance monitoring tour. Commercial drivers across the country have begun a nationwide go-slow action affecting the movement of vehicles in Margibi, Nimba, Bomi, and other counties. The drivers attributed their action to what they term as constant harassment by traffic police. They alleged that the police are issuing violation tickets of 150 United States dollars and above for a violation that warrants 25 United States dollars, something they believe is unfair. The drivers are meanwhile calling on the national government to intervene and address their grievances by finding a fair resolution to the issue of traffic violations and fines. Speaking to journalists in Kakata on Monday, the Federation of Road Transport Union of Liberia Treasury, Fidesco Hazan, urged the government to review the corruptions in current traffic violation penalties and ensure that they are in line with the actual offenses committed. The Ministry of Education has announced the official validation of the agroecological vegetation gardening curriculum, a groundbreaking step forward in the modernization of Liberia's technical and vocational education and training TVET system. According to a Ministry of Education release, the validation event hosted by the Institute European, the Corporation, and the Development IECD marks a defining moment in Liberia's education reform agenda, placing agriculture and food security at the forefront of youth empowerment, job creation, and sustainable national development. It further states that the curriculum is developed through an inclusive, evidence-based, and participatory process and provides a practical competency-based framework that equips learners with essential agroecological knowledge and hands-on skills. According to the release, the curriculum is tailored to meet the demands of Liberia's evolving agricultural economy and to prepare a new generation of agripreneurs who can thrive in both local and regional markets. The release quotes the Ministry of Education as saying the initiative reflects the ministry's deep appreciation for strategic partnerships and its long-standing collaboration with RECD, which continues to play a vital role in driving innovation and excellence in Liberia education sector. The Deputy Regional General Manager for QNet Sub-Sahara Africa, Sharif Abdullahi, has expressed deep concerns about reports of individuals misusing the QNet name to commit fraud or promising fake jobs and travel opportunities. Abdullahi clarified that QNet is not an employment agency and does not promise guaranteed income or overseas jobs, stressing that QNet does not engage in Ponzi schemes or illegal gatherings. To combat this, he said the company has launched the QNets Against Scams campaign across several African markets and intends to extend it to Liberia soon. He also revealed that QNet has already met with security authorities in Liberia, especially from the Liberia Immigration Service and the Liberia National Police, to help address the situation of its brand name being tarnished. Founded 26 years ago, QNet operates in more than 25 countries, offering life-enhancing products in health, wellness, lifestyle, and education through a direct selling mode powered by e-commerce. Sharif Abdullah stated that their business empowered individuals to pursue their dreams while promoting wellness, adding millions have benefited from the platform in over 100 countries. Monserrado County District 3 Representative Smo Moba is calling on national government to prioritize investment in women and girls empowered through vocational education. The District 3 lawmaker described vocational training as vital in preparing young people for the job market. Serving as the fourth commencement speaker for the Shining Bright Vocational School over the weekend in Painesville, Representative Moba expressed concerns over the government's limited support to vocational training institutions, citing the 2025 national budget, which allocated only 3,000 to the Monrovia Vocational Training Center. He described the money as insufficient as compared to the number of young people seeking skills training opportunities across the country. The lawmaker also encouraged the graduates, especially women, to be passionate and dedicated in their chosen fields. He reminded them that humility is key in success and urged them to put their acquired skills into practice without limiting themselves. For their part, the graduates applauded the administration of Shining Bright Vocational School for the knowledge and discipline instilled in them, describing their time at the institution as fruitful. They also used the occasion to encourage other women and girls to take advantage of training opportunities being offered. The graduates called on men to support their wives and female relatives who wish to pursue vocational education, emphasizing the role of male support in empowering women. A former student leader and political analyst has officially declared his membership with the opposition Congress for Democratic Change (CDC), speaking during his official dedication of membership at the CDC headquarters. On Monday, Jacob Jallar disclosed that his decision to join the party is volunteering his service in effecting change in the country. According to Jallar, the years of governance of the Unity Party has created more difficulties, loss of jobs, disappointments, and poverty. In accepting Jallar and supporters, CDC executive member Representative Francis Afoko welcomed and assured him that the CDC will work with him as the country heads towards the 2029 presidential and legislative election in Liberia. The Monserrado District 9 representative reminded President Joseph Boakai of his promise to reduce hunger, provide jobs, and improve the lives of the ordinary people. The Deputy Secretary General of the Liberia Labour Congress has left the country to attend a 5-day conference on labor migration organized by ECOWAS in Accra, Ghana. John Knight disclosed that during the conference, he will inform his counterparts from the West African region of the challenges public workers are facing in unionizing. Speaking in an interview shortly before departing the Rabat International Airport, Nat revealed that the International Labour Organization has already been informed of these challenges. According to Nat, others invited from Liberia to participate in the conference are representatives from the Ministry of Labour and the Liberia Chamber of Commerce. The director of the Kofi Annan Institute of Conflict Transformation, Professor Debbie Sadi, has underscored the need for the promotion of national unification as means of eliminating fear. According to Professor Sadi, as a nation that has suffered civil war and other crises, there is a need to eliminate the fears in the minds of citizens as means of initiating the national unification process. The Kofi Annan Institute of Conflict Transformation is poised to host a stakeholder dialogue this Tuesday as part of activities marking this year's Unification Day celebration. The dialogue, according to Professor Debbie Shardy, seeks to highlight the importance of unification and what the forefathers envisioned for a national unification in Liberia. The dialogue will be held at the University of Liberia Capitol Hill campus auditorium, bringing together major stake actors, citizens, and embassies near Monrovia. Celebrated on May 14 each year, this year's National Unification Day is expected to be held under the theme New Frontier for a Safe and United Liberia. And out of Liberia now, at least 130 civilians were killed in Burkina Faso. The government forces and allied military in March near the western town of Solizo, Human Rights Watch says in new reports. It says the massacre followed an operation led by Burkinabe Special Forces resulted in widespread civilian deaths and displacement of ethnic Fulanis. The Fulani are a pastoralist, largely Muslim community who the government has also that's often accused of backing Islamic militant, an allegation denied by the community leaders. During this newscast, a recap of the top stories we have been following. Councillor Fonati Kofa has finally resigned as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Commercial drivers across the country have begun a nationwide go-slow action affecting the movement of vehicles in Margibi, Nimba, Bomi, and other counties. In addressing the devastating impact of sea erosion in southeastern Liberia, the Environmental Protection Agency has announced the launch of the Sana Coastal Defense Project this Tuesday. At least 130 civilians were killed in Burkina Faso government forces and allied military in March near the western town of Stomizo, Human Rights Watch says in a new report. That's RCR News Bulletin at 7. I've been Akita Roberts presenting.
Yeah, everybody for me or for you? For you. What's up?
This last night was announced by the chair of the How do you respond to the news of the eminent resignation?
It's not imminent. I've already submitted it. I think it's on
Honorable Speaker, you've been holding on all through this moment. One now, you made a decision.
Okay, so it's important to bear things in perspective. We got to play the game by one set of rules. The rules keep changing, right? I think we held on because when the Supreme Court made a decision on December 6th, all the people came and said it was confusing with ultra virus, right? And so we waited for the Supreme Court to clarify that because it's on the level of the and we agreed at the time that once the Supreme Court clarifies it, everybody.
All right, good. Mark, are you set? Mark.
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me? You hear me?
I don't know. Yes, I'm getting
Yeah,
you, but
yes, I'm getting you.
someone is giving us
Am I
feedback.
also
But hold
clear?
on, Mark.
I'm getting some feedback from you. I don't know from who's in.
I'm getting some feedback from you. I don't know who's in. Am I also in? My voice is good.
Mark, go ahead, Missy.
You hear me, maybe?
Yeah, I'm getting Ambassador. Hold on. I'm going to unmute you, but hold on. We want to know exactly where this problem coming from. But hold on. Ambassador Monk, I'm getting you loud and clear. Are you
Yeah,
also
I'm
getting
getting
me?
everybody except the feedback. I don't know who in is coming from, but I don't think it's from my end.
Okay, let me see where the ambassador.
Okay, let me see where the ambassador.
No, I think it's coming from ambassador
No,
end. So
I think
ambassador, you got to check.
So
Maybe you have some gadgets on or something.
Maybe you also got your phone or something.
Good. Muna, check your end too.
I'm here. It's okay. I got no feedback here from the ambassador side.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, Mark, so while we're on the news break, there's a man that walked into our studio, or in fact, right to our station here, and he have this missing items. For a matter of fact, according to him, at a keke. And so quickly, let me read some of the items that he listed here. He said, he have almost 200,000 LD in a bag plus 150 USD, one power bank, passport Burkina Faso, driver lesson Burkina Faso, ID card Burkina Faso, resident permit, bucket of beans, dry bonies, dry boni and fish, peanut butter, tomato paste. I don't know why it ever does. I know that's a meter or waiting 100 yeah. Small New Testament Bible, and so yes, a citizen from Burkina Faso lost his items, or in fact left his bag in a tricycle, or the one we call keke. So I think he wrote everything down, and the people said that we should be able to inform the people out there that indeed there's missing items, 200,000 Liberian dollars plus 150 USD. Please, with passport, Burkina Faso, please. If you found a bag with the money and items, please bring it right to the station here, and all we will. Yeah, the best thing to do is just bring it right to the station, and please, that's all we want to do, or in fact to inform you all. So, Mark, that continue. I'm also getting a report that tomorrow there will be election from in fact when it comes to the issue of the speakership. I think our guest, maybe I don't know whether you're gone or something, but what say you, Mark?
Hello?
Yes, Mark, I'm asking you about the speakership elections that we are hearing about tomorrow.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why it's so quick. Until I can see that process going on, I'm not going to put my hat on any new elections for now. I'm not saying it cannot happen again, that the prospect of it happening or the possibility. It's not impossible, but it's done quickly. I don't know how many days they need. I think there's a limit based on their own standing rules and order, and they got time frame, right? If I'm not mistaken. And I don't know about the constitutional aspect of it, but we just got a resignation letter, and within 24 hours we are going for an election. I don't know, especially with people coming from the minority group crossing over, and all the rumors that we confirm finally at the end of the day, at the end of the entire process. I don't know why they are so in the haste to do this thing. I mean, like, if the speaker just handed the letter, his resignation letter to the clerk, why not give it at least 72 hours to a week and see what next? But within 24 hours, I don't know. But anyway, they are the lawmakers. I'm not a lawmaker, so up to them. The leadership in the house will determine the outcome of that particular process. But I'm not hanging on that process anyway. I'm not buying into it.
Great. Ambassador, even though we are not getting you, but we wanted to hear from your side about the happening on today with the speaker resigning and so forth. But I don't know whether everything's settled enough on your end before we go to check. Okay, praise. Is that today? Is that today? Yes, we are not getting you though. You are muted.
I'm muted. All right. Okay. You muted me. That's why. Am I clear now?
You are much better. Go ahead.
Am Am I good now?
Go ahead, we're getting you. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So thank you, everyone, and thanks to all of the panelists and the SG from the CMC. I actually had some questions for him, but he has left. So I think another time I'm going to ask his questions. My questions were just about the issue of that it has to do with decentralization of the CMC in the various counties and communities and whatever. I wanted to know whether the CMC has coordinators, acting leadership in all counties, because I have a reason for that question. We have been working with a lot of people from the southeastern side. We have talked to more than 1,000 plus young people who have already started moving out there to talk about the CMC. So I wanted to know whether the party, the CMC, already have some leadership put in place that is currently in the various counties and that is making sure that the people get on board. But anyway, he's not here. So the issue that has to do with the speakership, I think there has to be an election. Even if that election is done in 1 or 2 days' time, no issue. I have no problem with that. But let there be an election, because that's what the Constitution calls for. I want to say thank you to Honorable Kofa, who has deemed it necessary for the sake of peace, and that he decided to let go of that position. And I want to say thank you to him, and we await the election to see what comes out in the next few days as we all wish for a better Liberia. Thank you for now.
What happened? Maybe one's not there. I mean, a little bit. You've been so quiet. What's going on?
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Yes. I don't know. Sorry. I think the ambassador Yolam, you still have to look at your end. But quickly, as we are called to our LEC, we're getting a report that LEC, you are needed quickly at the Duper Marshal. We're getting a report that there's a huge spark on the pool here at the Duper Marshal in there. So LEC, please, those of you who are closer to LEC, inform them quickly that indeed there's serious tension on the line. So let them come in quickly to resolve the problem. But let's move. Check what's up. Everything. How the situation there in Nimba, especially when it comes to the resignation of the battle war speaker. What are some of the reactions from our people?
Yes, Nimba is fine. Everything is cool. The issue of the resignation of the speaker and the election tomorrow, it kind of was shocking to people. The resignation is not that much strange than what they've been hearing about it. But the issue of election on tomorrow, that's why it's very much shocking in the country. But that's a way of doing things. Everyone will say their own. Everyone have their own opposite view to horse it, and that's their right in the country to do that. So we'll wait to see the reaction tomorrow if the election will hold or there will be election. We want to see that. But Nima is really kind. Nima is good. Over the weekend, the political leader for the CMC, Chairman Musa Hassan Belete, was here over the weekend and delivering the district development fund to his people in district number 7, Nimba County. Two different development funds are being given by the government for development purpose. The 100,000 issue was the first time that I got a feedback anyway. The 100,000 from the government, the first 100,000, but later cut down to all the way 50. Later it was cut down to 37,000. That money will turn over to we will go to town. And besides that, the second quarter of that development fund is being given also. That have to do with 50,000. So that money will be turned over to the citizens of Sktv-Lib. There was a huge meeting in Sktv-Lib over the weekend by Chairman Hassan Belete and giving that money over to them that they should come to town and receive that money because Lace has continued to ask over and over. He been the only lawmaker who have not collected his money since then because according to him, It didn't have nothing to do with the money, then to go collect it before something else happened to it. So he had been there. So finally, he had told the people in the electoral district number 7 to go and get that development fund from the government. And besides that, this issue of Manaide Gongro, where every time after election she have to go to the state, This time around, she had popularly made an announcement that she's going to stay in Nimba now. She's not going to go anywhere. She will stay here and see if maybe there will be work for her to be done. But there have been a rumor around that the government had given her job. She refused the job. She said no, she can't refuse job from Liberia. When the opportunity comes for her to work, she will work, and she's not going to return to the state again. She's going to stay here until otherwise. So yeah, so far so good. Everyone waiting to see the speakership election tomorrow to see who's going to come on board to steer the affair of the Liberian people from the angle of the 55th national legislatures. So far so good. Maybe nothing much happening, but people are giving.
Yes, thank you quickly. Let me move quickly to Aga Muna so we can be able to go to the line to interact with our people. Muna, with all of the report now coming out that in fact there will be elections on tomorrow with the speakership. We're also hearing that Honorable Musa and Sam Belete will also be contesting on tomorrow, and a lot of opinion polls that have been circulating, going around. In fact, that indeed, if contest, he may likely become the Speaker of the 55th House of Representatives. So, Muna, what say you when it comes to the Speaker?
Me, that's the election tomorrow. I won't dive into it until they can break tomorrow and see the outcome of that election from the House of Representatives. And also, I want to say something about Speaker Kofa resignation. Honorable Kofa, before I go fight, the whole stress, whole lot balance, lawlessness, in the country where any corridors of Liberia, it caused by the government, the party government. They caused it. It is good, right? This country, we have constitution, and I put the president in that seat. The rule of law must be respected. Not because first or the past it didn't happen, the writing was not done, so it can be done now. That the notion we Liberians have. Because the writing was not done before, so when we try to put that thing into place, it began easy serious problems. But the speaker did a good job. Former Speaker Honorable Kofa. He went to the law, and the law was clear that next time, if anybody wants to phone anything, they will say no. The rule of law is there. So for the peace of the country, he did well. He resigned today. The record is there. So the whole lawlessness, whole lot balance, it caused by the government. If you want their own speaker, it's very simple. Do your homework. Like, I'm going to go through all this. We're going to go through all 7 months, the country, or the whole country hostage. Nothing happening. Collaboration everywhere. But the speaker, Honorable Kofa, did a good job. That next time anybody want to try something funny, the rule of law is that they will do the right thing to get a better result. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. Quickly, to the ambassador. Yes, so Mark, I can safely tell you that indeed it is indeed confirmed because I'm getting the report coming from the Director of Press and Public Affairs of the House of Representatives, Robert Benjamin Haynes, also reporting or in fact telling us that indeed tomorrow there will be elections on. But then that means there's a serious contradiction because mind you, also the majority bloc speaker who were also in fact claiming to be speaker. So that means he will be stepping down. At the same time, he will be contesting for the same position that he's stepping down from or what? Ambassador, before more coming, I want you to really chip in because we are a bit confused.
Yeah, Melbourne, the Honorable Richard Kuhn will be prosecuted. Any attempt for him to just even declare that he want to contest for that speaker position, he will be prosecuted immediately with immediate effect. I'm saying something I know about. So he will not even make any attempt. If he tries it, because I know right now that Speaker Kofa, Honorable Kofa has left that seat, definitely immediately Thomas Fala has taken over. And tomorrow he will conduct that session. Any attempt for Richard Kuhn to say he want to contest that election tomorrow, it will be a complete contradiction, and it will show and expose his intention, that criminal intention, that kind of hijacking spirit, like he came on board to hijack the whole country, constitution, to disturb the constitution, the whole country, and to break the laws around here, he will be prosecuted. So I, in my own mind, I think that he will not contest. And I can boldly inform you that if Honorable Musa Hassan Belete contest tomorrow, he will win it. This is clear. I can tell you this for a fact that if there's an election tomorrow and Honorable Musa Hassan Belete contest tomorrow, he will win that election as the next speaker of this country. Yeah.
Thank you, Ambassador Moss. What say you with all of the confusion? Yes, I will quickly. So with all of the Holly and Puri, now if the majority blood speaker contest on tomorrow, then what happened with the budget that have been signed and maybe all of the laws that have been signed, or maybe during that time, what happened? What's going to happen to that?
Well, that's a contradiction you should be asking you, including the Supreme Court itself, because the man who claimed that the law backs him, he's going to resign, and the man who claimed the position illegally, just say he should be arrested if he contesting, even though when they declare him that he was the speaker because they have the majority on their side, so they were the plenary. And I don't know how when he tried to contest, he should be arrested. And the budget that was passed under the illegitimate speaker is already been it's been expended in the economy, including the Supreme Court. They are getting a salary and benefit from an illegal budget. So the contradiction just cannot make sense. The average person cannot wrap their head around it. Why this election is so quick? The speaker just tendered his resignation today. He said it on camera. And within 24 hours, we are having an election. I don't know. Like I said, until I see it happening tomorrow, but I'm not going to bet on it because I don't know why this much hurry, why they are so interested in having an election within 24 hours after the speaker's resignation. But we'll see tomorrow. And I don't even know who are the contestants because you didn't even get the time to even say. I cannot even tell you whether Chemability has made it official to contest or Richard Kun will be contesting, and the next thing you know, there is an election. So I don't know what's going on behind the scene.
I'm getting three names, Mark. I'm getting three names. The majority blood speaker, number one, Honorable Musa Hassan Belete, number two, and that of the deputy speaker, Thomas Fala, that number three. So the three names on tomorrow. So that means, but for me, Mark, I wanted to go to the line and hear from our people, but I'm a bit confused actually to admit. I don't even know how to even talk about this anymore. Okay, go ahead, keep please.
Yeah, so Mabon, the prosecution we're talking about, the budget was already passed illegally. But there are few people there, there's a particular group of people who touched that budget, who played with the budget, who made sure that the budget went out to the civil servants and all across the ministry. The House of Senate, the current House of Senate, and the current House of Representatives, including the executive branch, will all be prosecuted. Even if they're not prosecuted now, the next government to come will ask these people to account for that budget, even though it was used, but it was passed illegally. So like Mon was saying that the budget has already been passed and all these people, it's true, but there are people who are responsible for this, and they must bear their responsibility. They must take the responsibility. It's a crime. The budget was never passed the right way, so it's a crime already. So the entire Senate, House of Senate, Nombi Kanga and her team, Darrell Dillon, they are all criminals as I speak to you. They must be prosecuted because of that budget that they have passed, that they don't go through the rightful channel. Even the entire House of Representatives, everyone in that house who fought under that, apart from the minority bloc that was headed by the Musa Hassan Belete, that bloc will be excluded. Every other lawmaker, including the executive branch, from the president down to his minister, who put that thing together, they will all be prosecuted. So even if it is done now, the next government will prosecute these people.
The constitutional crisis that all three branches of government are guilty of the crime. I don't know who can prosecute them.
No, Mark, the Supreme Court does not pass budget. The Supreme Court does not play with money or documents. It is the House of Senate and Representatives. And it is the president who sends the budget, the whatever. So the two areas, the executive and the House of Senate, right? The House, the entire House, both the representatives, they are responsible for this crime, this criminal attitude. So they will all be prosecuted. That's why I'm saying the next government has to work men up to bring them to
court. All right, so let's go to the line. Ambassador, thank you so much. Let's hear from our people because all of the lines are blinking. Let me take a few calls, then I'll cross over to Muna and then I'll check. Hello, quickly to this caller. Good evening. Yes, go ahead, man. There, your name and from where you join us.
Thank you. And
1 minute, please. No time.
Let me say good evening to the panelists. Maybe this is Sonny B. Hicks. I joined you for my mom, Bombing County this evening. It is so interesting and funny. But what they see tomorrow? Because we are hearing that those guys will not go for election. They have. They could have go, and thank God Speaker Kofa resigned today. He did an honorable thing. He will be recording to history. When we get old tomorrow, we sit and explain to the next generation the role that Francis Kofa played in the speakership. So our police tomorrow, let them go tomorrow to do the honorable thing. And you refuse yourself, and then you go for election. Who win the speakership win.
All right, thank you so much. There are also campaign. I actually may call it those of you who are not high school or what. I'm getting a lot of reports. Yeah, hello to this caller. Good evening.
My name is Joseph, and I joined from Kingston.
Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
So, I wonder the government in totality is treating well. Even by accepting a resignation letter from Francis Kofa is a risk for them. Another thing, if we will have election tomorrow, then for me, as a citizen of this country, I am recommending to who be government after this government to prosecute everybody, the 73 person, including the justice minister who gave the opinion to the president at that time. But if you came to us and you told us that you remove Francis Kofa, then there should be no reason why the same Francis Kofa should come back and say he resigned. Somebody who have been removed, they are removed.
All right, thank you. Someone who have been removed, they are removed, and also the other group of people too. They will be contesting. Hello to this caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Mabel.
Yes, man. Dear, go ahead.
Thank you. Came from the Puzo Island. My brother, I don't know what tell you, Blondie. Thank you. Blondie, go out being a famous speaker.
How?
I don't know what was doing that. What kind of election went through? Blondie going to be a famous speaker long ago. I think in December. So when I did resignation, I don't know what people taking it to be escalated.
But they
not resign, you are being a famous speaker.
Hello. So the lawmakers are saying that tomorrow they'll be going for election. So what say you?
Who the lawmakers are going to election now? Who said it?
I'm giving you information. You want to make confusion? Just give your point. Hello, my young man. We're not here to come to holding and put. I'm giving you information. Hello. All right. Say you don't want to. Maybe you don't. I'm saying the lawmakers. I'm be naming people. Hello to this caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, man. Dear, go ahead.
Let me say good evening to His Excellency President Baka. Somebody came back from Bravo District 17. So let me appreciate a panelist, especially Mom. You see, this big brother, I always have respect for him. That's why he speak against my government, but he's one person who consistent. From the genesis of the empire, he has said he had no interest who becomes speaker, who is not speaker. He characterized everybody as corrupt people, and he says them by his ground. So it made me to follow him and always have appreciation for him. Yesterday it was about Moluba Molu and Stain who said they want to protect. He also said that I don't care who protect, especially from the citizen, because those were the same people who we spoke against. I will not support them because what behind our project is part of political gain. But the issue about the resignation of the former speaker that somebody said, he remained former speaker. You that work in the institution on Sktv, you will not be resigning and be recommending who should be your successor. Francis Kofa, who work with a pleasure and everybody satisfaction when it comes to the
so my brother, hello. So we are getting report from the in fact from the director of press of the lower house that in fact there will be election tomorrow. So what he say? That's what we're saying.
So I can say to you, one election was conducted on the constitutional deputy speaker Thomas Fala and Roger Coon won on a web ballot. There is no way that the decision have been made by those people for the last 7 to 8 months. It will be overturned. It has been made. Nobody will conduct any re-election. Roger Coon remain the speaker and he had a quorum. The president will work with quorum. Anybody who can get quorum, the president will work with them. But as it stands, Roger Coon is the speaker. There is no
they got to interesting. Yeah, let me tell the last call of them. I cross over to my colleague. Hello to this caller. Good evening. No, the president.
So, thank you, neighbor.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the father of Prince Kolake. So I'm disappointed in the speaker that just resigned. And when you stand for something, no matter what it takes, you should stand by that thing. So he has clearly told us that when your colleagues, in as much as once they have the quorum, the majority, anything they say, it should prevail. If so, then why he couldn't agree with the ruling of the Supreme Court for the initial stage when they came up with their ruling that said ultra-virus, that which he went back to the Supreme Court for proper interpretation. This time around, the Supreme Court has made it clear to say those people, majority, they are in error. Now you have the constitutional backing until the motion be brought on floor and be tested. Why can't you stand your ground? Even if they will even leave you alone, in as much as they haven't brought that thing in plenary for it to be tested, and they take a vote against you to impeach you, you can stay the speaker. I'm not for him. I'm not either for Richard Coon. But when you stand for something, it should serve as a deterrent.
All right, thank you so much. To this caller quickly. Hello.
Thank you, Mayborn. So let people understand this. For me,
what's your name, Chief?
Block, Joseph.
Okay, go ahead.
Block is already in error, Mayborn. You can't say you remove the today. The very position you say you remove the member, then you accept the letter, and I don't know, Mayborn, 2 other quarters score before
I know they're not following the news.
So the director of the lower house is announcing to a journalist who is telling you the information I'm getting this from so and so place. Then you will not know because they say there will be no election. So for me, I want our own lawyers and politicians that what the Joseph Waga left government has done should not go unnoticed. These people being prosecuted, they ran this country illegally for 6-7 months because it shows to all clearly that Reteku was never a speaker, and Reteku act on a budget that the country is running on today. That act is an illegal act, but they accepted Francis resignation and they will be going to election tomorrow. They should be taken to task for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear brother. I know, check. You're in a position now quickly to take calls, and if you calls, then we'll cross over to our.
Yes. I can still call for my answer. Comment 07725666515. Call I already begun to come to this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Let's hear you. You're near Junior from where?
This is George Washington calling from Bone County.
Go ahead from Bone County.
Fred, thank you so much for the show and all the panelists. We want to say congrats to Richard Coon for his standing by the law that has made us to understand that the Constitution is the law in this country. And we urge all the lawmakers, let it appear tomorrow so that we can go for election because Richard Coon has resigned so that what we want in this country.
For that, you cover down, Richard Coon. 07725666515 08872242140 777. Let's go to this caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. You're near Junior from where?
Yeah, I'm still calling from Namba, Bone County, Soda District.
Bone County, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to tell for the Kofa thank you today. But you know what people are very talking about Kofa is one for the color of book, you know. You see what's happening now? They may resign today. Not in 1 day or 2 days is calling for election. You see how the people are anxious for power? Because what they want to know what they're doing, they want to just anxious to go back to that place and continue. So I want to say thank you. Let me see
Okay. 0772-566-515. 0772-566-515 is the line to put it through to this caller. Let me take you. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sir Sherry.
Good evening. Let's hear you. Go ahead, your name.
I am you say you enjoy the conversation from Bemabota Electoral District number 3.
Go ahead.
I want to appreciate former Speaker J. Fonati Kufa for his resignation today. In this country, we have a northern majority. People can be majority and then that they are majority and it's something that is lawlessness, but due to their numbers, it made them to shout in Nigeria. So I think the rule of but they for not in the struggle. So thank you for his resignation today.
Thank you. Thank you for your resignation. Good evening. Good evening. Please be audible, Chief. Go ahead.
My contribution, first of all, thank you and the panel.
Okay.
This clearly shows to us that this government was not doing it right. Suppose the person that said government that will come must prosecute the legislative branch and the executive, because the judiciary has nothing about budget act. The two branches are fully responsible for the passage of budget. So when the budget that is passed for this fiscal year that is unconstitutional and illegal, those that don't pass must be prosecuted by.
Okay, those that took part should be prosecuted. Good evening.
Sheikh, I think that call will be the last call, so we can get time. I'll need to respond.
Okay, this is going to be a last call. Fine, we are okay. Go ahead, your name.
I want to share this with Mom. I think Mom predicted well, but I'd like to say this that is very key. There are reports that it came up. If there's a talk tomorrow, Richard Kuhn will win. But Mom, see, Milborn will ask your words. Richard will definitely win again. But then Milborn will ask him, say, what happened with the budget he passed? Now, you have to take it to the court. But trust me, if anybody goes to challenge the previous budget in the court, you can win, because the very court will be of it, the executive will be guilty of it, the legislature will be guilty of it. So that budget I will pass, nobody can defeat it when you go to court. But the game of Richard Kuhn, if there's an election, that might block him, he will win again. He will be former speaker, whether he budget correctly or not. He can win that case when you go to court, because the court went to the budget hearing and justified their budget. The court definitely held liable. But I'd like to say this from the beginning of the show, for saying something. For the people who are second example, the reason is simple. Tomorrow, if you have a speaker, you're in the election you're about to have tomorrow, if you win, you lost the majority in control, you will go to the court, you will win, but you will not remain as speaker. The job of a speaker is to consolidate the majority. You consolidate the majority, you get the majority on your side. If you lost it, for the example, if a new speaker comes today tomorrow, and the majority move on, you finish.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you for
Thank you, Chief.
1 minute.
Yeah, thank you. You can see all your one.
All right, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, this is David King for the public. Thank you for the opportunity anyway. Now that I have known that there are some young people in our society who are very lawless. You know, when I listen to the young comments talking about we don't have any speakership election with Fonati go, it been going ever since Richard Kuhn is a speaker. It clearly speaks to the fact that some young people in this country don't believe in what they see on a daily basis. And that is why they will continue to be stooges to the politician until Jesus Christ can come. You want to understand, if you are seeing there will be no speakership election, why then the House of Representatives accept them for that resolution and
the resignation.
Yeah, resignation letter today, and they put it on the floor.
All right, thank you so much. While they have to receive the letter of resignation and place it on the floor, indeed, That's the fact, my brother. You don't need it. But let Mark, you and the ambassador, you just listen to Liberians in their own reactions to what we've been discussing or what we have discussed here.
Ambassador can go first.
Yeah, ambassador, go first.
Thank you. Am I clear? So I heard the caller who talked about the Supreme Court. The court also sent people to the House to defend their portion of the budget. The court does not, from the entire impasse that took place, the court stands its ground. The court does not determine who becomes the Speaker of the House. The court does not determine who shared that budget, who gave it out. What the court knows is when there's a budget, their portion, their part of that budget, they will go to defend it. But I can tell you that if there is any complaint filed against the majority bloc and the House of Senate and the current president, because he's not going to be excluded, if there is any complaint filed to the Supreme Court in the budget, trust me, the court is going to prosecute because the court is going to defend themselves. The court is not the one that determines budget. They are not the one that play with budget. They just go to defend, to talk for their side. But they do not determine how much go this place or go that place. But the president, the Senate, the representatives are responsible. So these two branches of government must account for everything. So I can tell you that if there is an election tomorrow and somebody else emerged, just to that seat of the speaker, trust me, that current speaker, that new speaker will prosecute. That new speaker will bring back this story. And they will file this complaint to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will be standing by to prosecute heavily whoever is involved. This will not go unnoticed. Everything that happens during these 6 months, 6 to 7 months, everything will be accounted for. So this will happen unless that the election in the House is rigged. Unless that election is played with and fanatic, Kun comes back to power. That's the only way the case can die. So by 2029, this case will resurrect again, and the Liberian people will see the end.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Monk. We gotta go.
Well, I don't have that much to say. I don't know until the process can happen. Like I said from the beginning, I don't know why they hurry, why they rush within 24 hours after the speaker's resignation letter was given to the clerk. But if an election will be held tomorrow, the ideal condition for Liberia will be a neutral speaker. But more than likely, if you want to be pragmatic, Richard Kun will end up being a speaker. And there are so many reasons I say he will end up being a speaker. Even though, if I have my choice, Richard Kun will never become my speaker, because I know that particular loophole in their own laws, their own standing orders and rule, they won't close it because they know they will weaponize it in the future. I knew from the beginning that this thing was about power, it was about leverage, it was never about constitution. And no matter what, after putting the country through this trauma for almost 7 months, some people will walk away again with a huge payday because money will change. That's just why it's all about. I don't know why people won't accept the fact. Lawmakers will be bribed, people will use money to influence the vote, and at the end of the day, the one with the deeper pocket will be the one that will come on top. So Liberia just happened to be in the bad state, and I'm not going to send mixed messages to future generation that there was a guy who won the Supreme Court ruling and the Constitution backing only for him to say he threw in the towel in the name of peace, and then some guy who's supposed to be considered the illegal one emerged as the speaker. No, I knew it from the beginning. I said what I say here. Some people may not agree with me, but that's where we are today, that no matter how long it will have taken, Fanatic Kufa was never going to become the speaker. I don't know who will become the next speaker. I want a third party and ideal speaker for Liberia. But like I said, in the Nima County election, there are certain moves that the people in power will make, and they won't make those moves for someone else to come and clean the table. So at the end of the day, I don't know about the election, but if an election is held tomorrow, then more than likely Richard Kun will be the favorite to win it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. Share quickly, 30 seconds. Check.
Yes, I'm here. Besides that, like Mom said, like when you said, really, he needed it, because if there is election tomorrow, we see folks Richard Kun taking the victory, because Mayu already have the number. If it is actually the number he has, He already having a number and going to election. That is, I don't know campaigning. You don't see member of the House representative up and down. But I see that election tomorrow to be like confusion, something like going to end in confusion because election like this, just after whatever the whole thing, whatever bigger speaker, he not bigger speaker, and he'll be prosecuted. Like one of the things because he hijack of power, misuse of public fund, like bring people money. Whether he become speaker, he not become speaker, he'll be prosecuted by all means. So let's wait there until see tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good night to all of you folks. Indeed, it is indeed interesting. Thank you to all of you. Actually, for me, I'm just laughing because you know what I mean to be having fresh election with our campaign. So like, every time we start a record. But again, Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us, and we see you on tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God. Thank you so much for coming, and thanks to all of you, our viewers and our listeners. I'm John C. Mabon Kula. Good night from my end here on the Sktv show.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We touch it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. Blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The brothers giving us here and the parents from there. The welcome and life without fear.
A lyrical health.
Master.
Cleverly, so I'm you. I can't ask you if you been you. Say my journey, Tina get I say my jamo. And yes, I know money. And more I know. And you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could buy ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could buy ya to money, and I don't get it now ya to money. That's the TV, and I don't get it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talk it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the promise my best. The work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from River Sass, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, Sano to Bakolu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.